This time, regarding Shohei Ohtani, who is being told by some media and experts to concentrate on hitting, due to his left knee injury. I will explain the significance of his existence as a two-way player. In addition, I will also touch upon the developing young monster, Roki Sasaki. This is a story about Shohei Ohtani. Regarding Shohei Ohtani, recently, concern-driven reports and negative opinions from experts about his two-way play have started to stand out, triggered by his left knee injury and other factors. Here, I would like to once again explain what Shohei Ohtani's two-way play as a pitcher and hitter really means. Under normal thinking, baseball players are classified into pitchers and position players. Pitchers are required to fulfill their position as pitchers and contribute to the team by holding down opposing hitters. Position players are required to fulfill their positions and contribute to the team in both hitting and defense. Depending on the baseball player, they are clearly divided into those who excel as pitchers and those who excel as position players. Or rather, normally, pitchers have their hands full just performing as pitchers alone. Position players exhaust all their energy just performing as position players. However, how about Shohei Ohtani? As a two-way player who both pitches and hits, he is a unique and one-of-a-kind existence in MLB today. For him, this role of two-way play as a pitcher and hitter is his lifeline as a baseball player. I have explained many times on this show that it is his identity. When he was a high school student, he set a goal to sign with the Dodgers after graduating from high school, and aim to be the best in the world in MLB as a pitcher. He publicly stated that he would not play in NPB. In reality, he joined the Hokkaido Nippon Ham Fighters and spent 5 years there, building the foundation for his career as a professional baseball player. Here is the key point. Why did Shohei Ohtani, who said he would not play in NPB, start his professional career in NPB? What this show explains is as follows. Why did Shohei Ohtani, who was supposed to have a plan to sign with the Dodgers without starting his professional career in NPB, and aim to be the best in the world as a pitcher, actually decide to join the Hokkaido Nippon Ham Fighters? The reason lies in the meeting between Shohei Ohtani and the Hokkaido Nippon Ham Fighters. At that time, Hideki Kuriyama, the manager of the Hokkaido Nippon Ham Fighters, who later became known for leading Samurai Japan to the World Championship, told him the following during negotiations with Shohei Ohtani. Let's challenge the world of professional baseball as both a hitter and a pitcher. I consider these words from Hideki Kuriyama to be the major reason why Shohei Ohtani changed his initial plan of starting his baseball career in America. At that time, in MLB as well as in NPB, such a thing as two-way play in pitching and hitting was unimaginable, and the atmosphere was far from allowing NPB to approve two-way play. In some circles, it was even said that although Shohei Ohtani had the desire to do two-way play, he had given up on it, thinking it would not be allowed in the world of professional baseball. To that extent, back then, being a two-way player was a dream within a dream. That is precisely why high school student Ohtani, after graduating high school, crossed the ocean to set a goal of aiming to be the best player in the world as a pitcher in the land of America. In reality, because Hideki Kuriyama, the manager of the Hokkaido Nippon Ham Fighters at the time, proposed to make two-way play a reality and challenge it in his professional career, Shohei Ohtani's feelings shifted toward challenging the professional world as a two-way player. In other words, for Shohei Ohtani, starting his professional career with the Hokkaido Nippon Ham Fighters meant starting as a two-way player, and he became a professional baseball player with the goal of succeeding as a two-way player. Let's return to the main topic. Recently, due to Shohei Ohtani's left knee injury, there are many media reports saying to Shohei Ohtani, focus on hitting. You should give up on pitching. That is like telling Shohei Ohtani to use only one arm and not to use both hands. And from Shohei Ohtani's perspective, that is a demand he cannot accept. He was a two-way player from the moment his professional career began. Interpretations such as focusing on hitting because his hitting results are good or because he has amazing talent do not apply to him. Aiming to be a first-class player as both a hitter and a pitcher. Aiming to be the best player in the world as a two-way player. That is Shohei Ohtani's goal, and two-way play is his lifeline and his identity. I have been supporting Shohei Ohtani since his time with the Hokkaido Nippon Ham Fighters. And he never slacks off as a two-way player at any time. Even during his NPB era, there were many opinions from experts saying his talent as a hitter is amazing, so he should concentrate on hitting. However, Shohei Ohtani does not lend an ear to such words. He is a two-way player, and he is not a player who narrows down to one position to perform. It is not a story like a player who was a hitter eventually starting to pitch as well. Or conversely, a player who was a pitcher eventually starting to hit as well. He started his professional career as a two-way player. And since then, he has built achievements that led him to be called a unicorn through two-way play. To tell such a person that he should narrow it down to hitting from now on, or that he should give up on pitching leads to cutting off his lifeline. It is out of the question. As for the cause of his left knee injury, because it is the left knee that was operated on in the past, there are concerns that the injury recurred, but on this show, we think as follows. It is not that he was injured because it was the left knee operated on in the past. But rather, we view this left knee injury of Shohei Ohtani as being caused by overusing his left knee to an unprecedented degree through two-way play. We view the left knee injury as being caused by hard work. Until now, as a hitter, he did not practice that much. And the focus of his practice was on pitching. As a hitter, he has a genius-level hitting sense. So he hardly did any outdoor free batting practice. And I believe he only continued practice to check his swing form. And practice his plate discipline by having a machine throw 100 miles per hour balls to closely identify the pitch trajectory. Even with that level of practice, he achieved numerous great feats as a hitter. That is precisely why the public demands a play style focused solely on hitting from Shohei Ohtani. On the other hand, regarding pitching, for Shohei Ohtani, pitching was the position meant for succeeding in America after graduating high school, and aiming to be the best player in the world. So it can be understood as a position he is even more particular about than hitting. While he is a genius hitter, as a pitcher, Shohei Ohtani can be considered to have grown and achieved results through the accumulation of daily effort. A genius hitter and a hard-working pitcher combined into one is the form of Shohei Ohtani's two-way play. Therefore, while scenes of his hitting practice were rarely seen, his pitching practice scenes were covered daily by the media. I think the ratio was probably around 70% practice for pitching and 30% practice for hitting. That ratio saw a change in circumstances during the first half of the season. He practiced 70% as a pitcher, and in the first half of the season, he delivered performances active enough to be in contention for the Cy Young Award at one point. On the other hand, as a hitter, he fell into an unprecedented, long-term batting slump. Compared to typical years, the number of home runs he hit in the first half of the season was 22 home runs. That is too few home runs for Shohei Ohtani. It took him 53 plate appearances to go from hitting 6 home runs to 7 home runs. Never before had he been in such a severe batting slump, while delivering performances active enough to aim for the Cy Young Award as a pitcher. As a hitter, he fell into a long-term batting slump for the first time in his career. What he did at that time is the key point that became the cause of this left knee injury. As already explained on this show in the past, the reason he injured his left knee in the first half of the season is that, despite delivering outstanding performances aiming for the Cy Young Award as a pitcher, he suffered his first long-term batting slump in his career as a hitter. In order to bounce back from that, he engaged in intense hitting practice. beyond comparison to his previous practice volume, which, we speculate, caused his left knee to get injured. He is a right-handed pitcher and a left-handed hitter. As a pitcher, the stride leg is the left leg. As a hitter, the pivot leg is the left leg. For two-way player Shohei Ohtani, the left leg is a crucial body part. And it is also a part that gets overused in both pitching and hitting. The previous practice ratio of 70% for pitching and 30% for hitting increased for hitting due to the long-term batting slump. And the 30% practice volume likely increased to 50%, 60%, and 70%. Meanwhile, since he was performing actively as a pitcher, naturally, his left knee ended up getting injured. What can be inferred from these circumstances is that Shohei Ohtani did not injure his left knee because his physical strength declined, but rather, it can be interpreted that his left knee cried out as a result of hard work. If he had been able to produce results in both pitching and hitting with his previous practice volume of 70% for pitching and 30% for hitting, his left knee would not have cried out to this extent. While it cannot be denied that he entered a period where the previous practice methods were not working for him as a hitter, he made a splendid recovery from his long-term batting slump. Now, we can once again see him performing actively as a hitter just like before. Also, as a pitcher, although he had a skipped start, I predict that Shohei Ohtani's return as a pitcher will happen in the near future. As mentioned earlier, for Shohei Ohtani, two-way play is his lifeline. Unless a major injury renders him incapable of returning, he will never narrow down to a single position. Because two-way play, holding both positions of pitcher and position player, is his lifeline as a baseball player. Narrowing down to just one side is not something he would decide easily. Experts who are critical of Shohei Ohtani's two-way play need to understand that point. I will say it once more. He started his career as a two-way player. He himself takes pride in being a two-way player. Furthermore, he trains daily with a strong determination to continue performing actively as a two-way player. Having doubts about Shohei Ohtani's two-way play is nonsense. He is a two-way player, and two-way play is who Shohei Ohtani is. Accepting who he is right now and believing in his future. That is more important than anything else. This is a story about Roki Sasaki. Regarding Yoshinobu Yamamoto, which was scheduled. Due to time constraints, I will not cover it today. I will cover it in the next broadcast. Regarding Roki Sasaki, at the start of the season right after the opening, he had trouble throwing strikes, and many experts and media questioned his ability as a pitcher. For us who have been watching Roki Sasaki's pitching since his NPB era, we viewed Roki Sasaki's struggles in MLB as being largely due to the change in environment. In particular, we viewed the difference in quality between MLB and NPB official balls as the factor behind Roki Sasaki's control troubles. And we believed that by gaining game experience, Roki Sasaki could regain the pitching style he had in his NPB era. The Dodgers did not doubt Roki Sasaki's ability. And no matter how poor his results were, they did not remove Roki Sasaki from the starting rotation and let him gain game experience. Every time he took the mound, while repeating success and failure, Sasaki grew slowly, step by step. Initially, Roki Sasaki struggled with the official MLB ball. But as he took the mound repeatedly, his fingertips fitted securely to the MLB official ball. And starting from the Angels game in Anaheim, he began to throw strikes. And gradually, the side of Roki Sasaki from his NPB era began to be seen in MLB as well. Since then, repeating good pitching and bad pitching, success and failure, he has arrived at today. And without a doubt, he is growing, and his growth rate is accelerating. Although he is still far from a finished product, it is wonderful that daily growth can be felt. Some media and reporters immediately demand a finished product, but that is unreasonable. Roki Sasaki is a human being. He is not a video game character. Human beings are not perfect. That is why, to achieve success, one repeats failures many times, reflects each time, corrects the causes of failure, challenges the next attempt, and corrects again when new issues are found. And beyond that lies the glory called success. That is the process by which human beings grow. In the first half of the season, he got better starting from the Angels game in Anaheim. And after repeating failure and success, entering the second half, in his start against the Yankees on the road, I believe he leveled up even further. However, issues are still piling up. I understand he is far from a finished product. But even so, Roki Sasaki will surely continue to grow while repeating failure and success in the future. When he experiences failure, many critical comments come out from some media and reporters. But Roki Sasaki does not need to mind such comments. Believing that the approach he is taking is correct, he should simply grow day by day. Many fans of Roki Sasaki around the world are supporting him. I believe Roki Sasaki will continue to show growth that brings joy to the fans who support him, while repeating failure and success, with the goal of ultimately growing into the best pitcher in the world. I hope he continues to do his best. That is all for today. Thank you very much.